Good morning. Welcome to All Souls. We are so happy to have you with us this morning here in the sanctuary and by live stream if you're joining us by live stream. We are a welcoming and inclusive community of members and friends. If you're a newcomer this morning, please let us know. Stop us in the vestibule on your way out and introduce yourself, or if you're a visitor. We really want to meet everybody. My name is Pamela Patton. I'm the Director of Congregational Ministries in our Buddhism and Mindfulness program. And joining me this morning are Emma Markham and Laura Cohen, who will be offering the sermon. They are Seminarian interns from Union Theological Seminary who are working with us this year. This is a very special service in my heart. I've been wanting to offer a service about dance and spiritual practice of the body for a very long time. And dance has been a part of my life all my life. So I really feel delighted that you're all here to appreciate this service. And I want to welcome Omega Dance Company, as well as the youngest children from our religious education program who will be dancing this morning. I also want to say thank you to all the people who said yes when I came up with this idea, especially Galen, who entrusted this service to me and to all of us who are participating in it, but also Alejandro, Aaron, and Trent, as well as Chris, who's participating from the religious education perspective, and also our graduate student interns, Laura and Emma, as well as Bebe, who is a graduate student at Manhattan College working with us this year. So a few announcements. We have Adult Ed every 10 a.m. every Sunday. Shelley Tupper is leading a series for us this month, and the second one was today, 2 more. Shelley is leading a program on flourishing. Then we always have a religious education program for children, and we have coffee hour always downstairs after the service. Today at 1 o'clock, we have Venerable Rubina Corton coming to speak with us. She is one of my very special teachers, and I hope you'll join us for a conversation with her. That's in the Ware Room at 1 o'clock. Next Sunday is Volunteer Sunday, when we'll be celebrating the many dozens of volunteers. I think at last count we had something like 60 or 70 people who are volunteering here currently. And we will be celebrating all of you who are doing that, as well as letting you know about volunteer opportunities if you'd like to volunteer. So please join us for the service, and then afterwards at coffee hour we'll be sharing with you new opportunities for volunteering. I also want to let you know that General Assembly is coming up in June, and we have a couple of spots left for delegates. We started announcing this in January, and we look forward to, a couple of more people signing up if you'd like to, but do let us know soon because the spots are filling up. And now, please silence your devices. I invite you to quiet your hearts, your minds, and your bodies as we prepare to hear the call to worship.
Good morning, and welcome to All Souls. My name is Barbara Hossein, and I'm a long-term member here. We like to speak of this place as a place of the open mind, the open heart, and the open hand. I want to speak about what the open hand means to me. It all began with a Christmas card, a painting of the Madonna, seated in a red robe, the babe on her lap, her forearms extended, palms up. I experimented with this pose to give and receive love, to connect to the universe. I would perform it secretly beneath conference tables at work, testing whether the flow of love could change behaviors. This open-handed pose is how many religions practice prayer. About this time, All Souls provided me with an introduction to Tai Chi through a workshop with a monk from Santa Rosa, California. I was transfixed. I have now studied Tai Chi for 9 years. I learned how to stand, how to hold my hands, and soon I could feel the flow of Qi between my palm centers. You can direct your Qi against your opponent, or you can use it for healing. In my first year of studying Tai Chi, I saw the movie The Revenant. After the bear attack, Leonardo DiCaprio's character first nursed his wounds by cupping a palm over his injured flesh. That's the Qi. Or the Native American counterpart. I believe that things that are true in many traditions and in ancient wisdom. I hope that you will find things that are true for you here at All Souls Church. Won't you rise as you're able and join with me in reciting the bond of union? In the freedom of the truth and in the spirit of love, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Isn't it so nice to see the kids here today, the children? My name is Bebe, and I do RE with a bunch of the children you see here, as well as a little bit of older ones, and I will be doing this responsive reading with you today. They heard the south wind sighing, a murmur of the rain. And they knew that earth was longing to see them all again. While the snowdrops were still sleeping beneath the silent sod, they felt their new life pulsing within the dark, cold clod. Not a daffodil nor daisy had dared to raise its head. Not a fair-haired dandelion peeped timid from its bed. Through a tremor of the winter did shivering through them run, yet they lifted up their foreheads to greet the vernal sun. And the sunbeams gave them welcome, as did the morning air, and scattered o'er their simple robes rich tints of beauty rare. Soon a host of lovely flowers from vales and woodland burst, but in all that fair procession the crocuses were first. First to weave for earth a chaplet to crown her dear old head, and to beauty the pathway where winter still did tread. And their loved and white-haired mother smiled sweetly 'neath the touch, when she knew her faithful children were loving her so much. Thank you.
So before we begin our hymn this morning, We Gather Together, I'd like to ask you all to stand and go and introduce yourself to somebody you have not talked to before. Please cross the aisles in the spirit of movement and dance and find someone to say hello to. Thank you. Thank you for saying hello. And stay standing, because we will, if you're comfortable standing, we will sing our hymn now. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate seeing you all connect with one another. And I know many people here appreciate being able to meet each other, although you can meet more at coffee hour, so come on down afterwards. We'll now sing We Gather Together.
Good morning. This morning's reading is from Dawn Marie Bazemore, who is a performer, choreographer, and teaching artist based out of Philadelphia. Often, it is the ethereal beauty and skill of the trained dancer, the complexity of the choreography, and the space in which the work is situated that makes the art form seem unattainable to the non-dancer. However, at its core, concert dance elaborates upon a basic physical capability for awareness, that generates corporeal responsiveness. This awareness is present to some extent in all human beings. If we understand that concert dance seeks to capture certain aspects of human ability, combine them with a technical and refined physical vocabulary, and make both metaphorically relatable to the audience, then we see the direct correlation between this structured form of dance and community life and action. This correlation fundamentally deconstructs the hierarchies associated with concert dance. Even non-dancing members of a community can find ways to dialogue through movement. Movement is intrinsic to all bodies, and as it relates to dance and politics, can be used to relay the issues and concerns of diverse participants. In his article, Dance and Activism, written for the Encyclopedia of Activism and Social Justice, Jesse Phillips Fine states, "Dancing creates community and cross-cultural understanding, unifying participants and offering a transformation that is viscerally experienced." Essentially, movement makes space for all participants to engage in an exchange of emotions, ideas, and socio-political concerns, enabling formally trained and novice movers to contribute to the concert dance experience, which in turn results in an increased level of awareness amongst everyone who is present.
Traveling through this world of war, and there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to meet my mother. I'm going there no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I'm a poor wayfaring stranger, a traveling through this world of war, and there's no sickness, toil, or danger in that bright land I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home.
Good morning. This meditation comes from Lama Willa Blythe Baker from her book, The Wakeful Body. What do you notice right now below your neckline? It might be the feeling of your feet on the floor. It might be the cool tingling of the air on your arms. It might be the feeling of your diaphragm rising and falling as you breathe. It might be an ache in your body. Search your experience and find just one bodily feeling. Try closing your eyes and let the feeling draw you down so that your witnessing mind actually drops from the headspace into your body. Travel down to the place where the feeling is most vivid and vibrant. Then surround it with your attention. What do you notice? Is there a coolness, a warmth, a tingling, a heaviness, tension? Whatever is there, be curious and explore it. At some point, encourage your attention to let go and dissolve into the feeling. May you be at peace. And now, please rise as you are able to join in singing, "We'll Build a Land."
Our collection this morning is for a program very special to All Souls, the Navigators, which is an alternative scouting movement, an outgrowth of a project here at All Souls, and has grown over 20 years from one chapter in East Harlem to nearly 400 chapters across the U.S. and abroad. The mission and message of Navigators is embodied in its moral compass, in large part derived from Unitarian Universalist principles.
When I was a child. The body loves to move. It has its own intelligence. It knows how it wants to move, and will move in just that way if the thinking mind moves out of the way. In his teaching, Body and Mind Study of the Way, 13th century Zen master Dogen writes, "For the time being, let us say there are two approaches to studying the Buddha way: to study with mind and to study with body. To study the way with the body means to study the way with your own body. It is the study of the way using this lump of red flesh. Splattered with mud and soaking wet, study the way running barefoot, turning somersaults." How do you study the way with your own body, this lump of red flesh? To me, that means becoming intimate with my experience, intimate with the world. If I am always in my conceptual mind, there will inevitably be some distance between myself and the world, a gap, a subject and an object, perceiver and perceived. In his book, The Spell of the Sensuous, eco-philosopher David Abram writes about the reciprocity of perception. If I reach out my hand and touch the bark of a tree, it senses me at the same time that I sense it. As I stand in a forest and take in its sounds, smells, and sight, it perceives my presence. When I touch my left hand with my right hand is sentient, but also sensible. My left hand is sensed, and it also senses. When I touch your hand, I sense it and am sensed by it. Phenomenologist Maurice Merleau-Ponty has suggested that the whole sensing and sensible world is one thing, of which we are a part. By feeling into the body, this lump of red flesh, I aspire to close the gap between a conceptual me and an apparently external thing or being. It is my thinking mind that abstracts me from my environment, from all that I perceive and that perceives me. I invite you to close your eyes. Feel breath, that is, air, moving in and out of your body. Don't try to control it, just observe what is already happening. Where do you feel it? In your nostrils, lungs, diaphragm, belly, fingertips, toes? What is its texture? Get close. Closer. Is this air you are breathing a part of you? Is it separate? Is it the same air the person next to you is breathing? Where are the boundaries? You may open your eyes. Splattered in mud and soaking wet, study the way running barefoot, turning somersaults. There is an inward turn necessary to being present in our embodiment, as you just experienced directly. And in studying the way with the body, there is a time for an ecstatic abandon, a joyful surrender to the body's knowing, to its full participation in the wild, tumbling world. Let the soft animal of your body love, what it loves, writes the poet Mary Oliver. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Most of us have long forgotten, but our body belongs to the world. The body is none other than the world. Let it be splattered in mud and soaking wet. Let it run barefoot. Let it turn somersaults. Let go of the reins and be moved by your own body, and in that way, study the way.
So, you've been invited a couple of times now this morning by Laura to tune into your body. For some of you, maybe that felt easily accessible, like a relief, like a rest. For others of you, maybe it was difficult, uncomfortable. Coming into our bodies is not simple or easy. Just like confronting our minds is not simple or easy. I know that many of you engage in some form of meditation or prayer practice, and so I know that you know that to be true. The reason that meditating can be hard is because it requires us to remove our usual habitual distractions, our to-do lists, our ruminations, our phones, our books, our conversation partners. In meditation, we put down all of these distractions and we confront our minds in its rawest form. And what most of us find, at least at first, is discomfort, tiredness, frustration, boredom. My favorite definition of meditation comes from the Tibetan word for the practice, gom, which is translated as to become familiar with. Because in my experience, that's what we're doing when we meditate. We're becoming a bit more familiar with our own minds. And becoming familiar with our minds makes no promises of being relaxing or peaceful. Those might be nice side effects that the practice can have, but they're not what's promised. What's promised is intimacy. And we all know that intimacy is complex. It can be beautiful, it can be transcendently beautiful, and it can be extremely challenging. So why? Why engage this kind of practice? Why bother? Well, we engage these practices because some part of us is curious about what's going on inside when we remove all those distractions. And I believe that some part of us, even if it's a small part, believes that whatever it is that we find once we do that has some potential for transformation. And not only to transform into a more peaceful, a more restful state, so that our lives can be a little bit more at ease, but that in the process of transforming, we will come into more meaningful connection with others. This is how meditation helps us to cultivate a mind and heart of compassion and love, the unstoppable forces of connection and care that when they're coursing through us, when we feel them, we feel the divine. And as we take that brave step again and again, every morning or every hour or every moment, to look directly at our experience, to be intimate with our minds, We are training in this divine connection. It's a powerful practice, and it is a world-changing endeavor. I believe that with my entire heart. But the work of it never ceases. Meditation never becomes a passive spa-like experience. The well runs infinitely deep, and the more that we become familiar with one dimension of our experience, the more that the infinite variety of life unfolds before us. As we engage this practice, as we continue to confront the present moment and what it means to be a living creature in contact with others, well, eventually, we have to come into contact with our bodies. And our culture doesn't like that very much. It might even like it less than the idea of doing away with our habitual distractions. Our bodies have been sidelined. They've been relegated to the domains of the scientist and the beautician. They've been condemned as profane by various lineages of religion. They've been reduced to instruments of domination by sex industries and war industries alike. Even the very DNA that runs through our veins and connects us to our ancestors and to our ancestral lands has been made invisible by cultural forces that want us to conform to a system that values what our bodies can produce, rather than valuing them simply because they are alive. Because of this, many of us have neglected our bodies, run them into the ground, or even turned away from them because of the very real pain that they hold. I will say it again. Coming into our bodies is not simple or easy. We are living in a world that does not want us to be in our bodies, so please do not be discouraged. Remember your curiosity and remember your faith. What is here when I remove the distractions? And I believe that whatever it is, it has the potential to be transformed. Our bodies might be clunkier than our minds. They might be a little bit more challenging to confront because they're fleshy, achy. They don't look the way that we would like them to, and they don't function as smoothly as they used to. They might even be sick or injured. But don't let those become reasons to turn away from your body. Not when you are training in love and compassion, in connection and care. These are reasons to come closer, to care more tenderly, to love more completely. They are reasons to become more intimate with our own bodies. And just like with our minds, we have to take good care. As we begin to become familiar with our bodies, we have to be aware of our limits, our mental and physical health, and we have to know when to reach out to each other for support and guidance. But at our own pace and in our own way, with the support of communities just like this one, each of us can begin to come into our bodies with curiosity and with the determination that transformation is possible if necessary. As we become transformed as a whole being, mind, heart, and body, our lives become powerful beyond measure. When our entire lives, including our bodies, are filled with the forces of love and compassion, the divine within us shines out like sunlight cresting over the horizon. We no longer have to try to enjoy our experience because our bodies are in the nature of joy. And connection is no longer something that we long for because our barriers to connection have been removed and our true nature is flowing freely.
Please rise as you are able to join in singing Siyahamba. The dancers will be entering from the back, so I don't want you to miss it. And I want to let you know that we'll be singing 5 verses instead of 4. We'll start with Siyahamba, then we are marching, we are singing, we are dancing, and then Siyahamba again.